Yeah, be cool, just move with the groove. No funk in here, the beat way too smooth. Yeah, let's just do what we came to do. Just vibe with it, vibe with it. Be cool, yeah.
Hey guys, my name is Peter William Flessis, and today I'm going to be explaining how you can learn how to channel information in 3 easy steps. Now, before I start, I just want to explain a little bit about what channeling is, because I feel like it's a very esoteric concept for most people. Channeling is essentially the idea that there is information that you can connect to that doesn't necessarily exist within your brain. In fact, there are a few scientists out there that are beginning to prove more and more that a majority of the information that we as humans can connect to does not actually even exist in our brain, but more so in the field around us. And so we're starting to understand that, first off, you only utilize about 10% of your brain's capacity. Well, one of the reasons for that may be because we haven't yet learn how to fully utilize the field around us and pick up on the information around us. Now, there's different people that call themselves intuitive psychics. Some people can foresee the future, this or that. These are just people that all they're doing is picking up on their field, energy that's within their field. And they actually, if you've ever had a psychic session, you sit down with this other person, all they're doing is picking up on your field, the energy in your field, and they're essentially relaying that back to you in a language in which you can understand. So it may sound like a very sketchy, very kind of weird, very esoteric type of concept, but if you really do practice it, and you really do start to understand it and learn a little bit more about it, it can actually be extremely effective for you and help you in many ways, not only in your own spirituality, but in business, in life, in making decisions. There's a whole assortment of ways that you can channel information. And my own experiences specifically, I would say over the last few weeks I've just started channeling information. I've essentially had sessions where I'll start channeling information at like midnight, and it won't end till about 6 in the morning. But the thing is, it took me a while to be able to get to that point where I could channel information so rapidly and at such a high velocity, but in this video I want to explain exactly how you can actually prime your mind and essentially get yourself to a state where you can receive this information and you can translate it and you can utilize it in your own physical reality. So first step I want to explain, it's basically where I started off. This is exactly how I got into a state where I could actually receive this type of information. And it's actually really easy, and it's actually quite enjoyable. So the first step is actually getting into a state of love. Now, what I mean by a state of love is that you need to optimize your 5 senses so that each sense is being loved. So for instance, in the morning what I'll do is I'll wake up and I'll have a specific spot that I'm going to sit, like a really comfy chair. I'll have really comfy clothes on. So that's essentially optimizing your feeling. Next, I'll put on some really relaxing, enjoyable music. Either something that's very emotional, it causes me to feel really good on an emotional level, or just very soothing classical type music. And so again, that's optimizing sense number 2. Your hearing. The third step, what I'll do is I'll eat something, or I'll have a beverage that I really love. Like, I love coffee in the morning. That's just something that soothes me, that makes me feel good, relaxed, comfortable. So I'll have coffee in the morning. I'm not always that hungry in the morning, so I don't usually eat. But if there is a comfort food that you really enjoy and it makes you feel good, you definitely want to have that available to you. So again, that's taste. And then sight. I personally love candles. I like how they look, and I like the appearance of them. So that's one thing I'll do to optimize my sight. Also, I'll make sure that the feng shui in my house is optimized as well. I'll make sure it's nice and clean and tidy. There's dirty trash all over the place, and that way, again, when I look around the room, I just feel comfortable, clean, and in that state of love. And then lastly, smells. You can use candles or some type of incense. Anything that, again, makes you feel good. Anything that just really smells good to you is what works. So that's all you have to do for the first step. And by essentially focusing on all 5 senses, you are already really jumping into that state of love. And when you can do that on a consistent basis, and you essentially train your body, mind, and soul to really get used to being in that state, not only will you have an amazing day every day, like you'll start the day and it's really hard to go downhill from there, but also you'll prime your mind to be able to be open to more new esoteric type information. Alright, so step number 2. Step number 2 is to record everything that comes to you. And now, it doesn't matter how it comes to you. Sometimes it comes to you while you're just about to fall asleep, or right when you wake up, or sometimes while you're exercising, or sometimes while you're just doing nothing, or a lot of the times it happens when you are just like creating something. Like for me, it's just like a lot of the times when I'm creating art or making a video, these new inspiration comes to me, and the number one most important thing you can do to really start channeling is to record all that information. So always have, if you're on your computer a lot, have a Word document open, and always just be ready to type when you're ready to flow. Just type it out. When you're out and about, have an application on your phone where you can record information, where you can type in any thoughts or ideas, this and that, or even an audio recorder is really useful, and that's usually a lot better. However, a lot of times it's great to record. However, I found that it's much harder to get that information because when you start channeling a lot, you don't really want to spend all the time listening to all that information. You'd rather just read it, and it's a lot faster. So that's definitely those are definitely some options. But the thing is, the reason why we do this, the reason why we really focus on recording information, is because you're essentially conditioning your mind to want or desire more of this information. And so the more you tell yourself that you're going to record this information and that you truly feel this information is of value, then you'll get more and more and more of it. I was actually yesterday, me and my buddy Maz were hanging out, and I told him this. I'm like, definitely record your information, do this, do that, and that night, he said right before he went to bed, he had like all these like messages come to him, and he was too tired to record it. You can't do that. You have to have like a notebook or a notepad by your side at all times, and even if you're really, really tired or you really don't want to write it down, because you're gonna forget it, and when you forget it, it's gone forever. So make sure you record. The third way in which you can really optimize your ability to channel information is through discourse or through dialogue with others. What I found is that a lot of the times, or actually all of the time, I have the information already in me, and so do you. We all have a ton of information stored within us, but the thing is, you have to figure out a way to get that out. And so the reason why they call it co-creation is because you need 2 people, and so basically what you can do is have a dialogue with another person, and if you may have a specific intention in mind. So for instance, I once, a couple weeks back, I received a bunch of blueprints for a new healing technology, and so I've been having dialogues with my friends that are interested in the technology and want to learn more about it. And so through a dialogue or through conversation, we're actually able to pull out a little more information. So when you do start channeling this, you'll just have this conversation. You may not know exactly where it's going, but basically if you have a friend with you and you allow them to ask questions, when they ask questions, they'll actually inspire new ideas and allow you to access different areas of your brain, different areas of your field. And the more you do that, the more information comes out. And what's great is that the information is instantly translated by the person that you're working with. One thing that I noticed personally is that when I'm channeling alone, a lot of the information comes in a more of a holographic form, in the sense that I guess I could explain it in terms of a sandwich. You know, a sandwich has bread, 2 pieces of bread, and the meat. Well, I get the meat of it. However, it doesn't come with any bread, so it isn't able. You can't handle it, or you can't really use it. Like, I can't give it to someone else and have them eat that sandwich because there's no bread to it. But when you have another person that's working there, working with you, they can figure out a way in which to create the bread so that it becomes more of a tangible idea instead of this intangible idea that makes sense but doesn't quite work well. So that's step number 3. So those are the 3 steps. If you want more information about channeling, feel free to email me at evolvewithlove, and love being the last E is a 3, so evolvewithlove3 at gmail.com, and I'll answer any of the questions you have for me. Make sure to subscribe to this channel so you get all the updated news and updates about channeling and about Evolve with Love, and a lot of the new things that are actually being channeled, like some of the LifeWorks, the latest healing technology that's coming about. So make sure to subscribe, comment, and I look forward to making more amazing videos in the future. Alright, peace and love, homies.
Yeah, be cool, just move with the groove. No funk in here, the beat way too smooth. Yeah, let's just do what we came to do. Just vibe with it, vibe with it, vibe with it. Be cool, just move with the groove. Let's go. No funk in here, the beat way too smooth. Let's just do what we came to do. Just vibe with it, vibe with it. Unleash the verbal blessing, prolific with herbal lessons. So kick back, chill, relax, and learn